here we're back. These are dreamy drums, and I'm
Oh yeah.
feeling some Middle Eastern bazaar
Oh yeah. Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
kind of vibe to it.
This is like they went to India with the Beatles at this point, right? I mean, they're
Yeah, the
definitely
Maharaji here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the other thing about we haven't really talked about it, but in some of the lyrics, there's a lot of uh, he brings in religion a lot to these things. Back with I am one as you are three, try to find Messiah in your Trinity. There's a lot of that which I didn't pick up on necessarily when I was younger, but I think he does bring a lot of in the earlier stuff a lot of religious feels into these, but you kind of miss them a little bit because you're really vibing on the groove that the songs
Right.
are, right? You know?
Yeah, and I think I'd be very interested based off of you saying that. I'd be very interested to almost have a comparison between this album and Mental Jewelry by Live,
Yeah.
where it's music driven, but it's based in discovery.
Yeah.
Maybe not even religion as much, but discovery of yourself, whether you're looking at religion or what's happening in the world or your place in it. It is, as you mentioned that, it makes me think of Ed Kowalczyk, especially in that album. Um, so I think that's very cool. And this is probably relative timing for that album as well. So
Yeah, I think so. It's all kind of that era, I mean, you've got this album coming out right at the start of grunge. I think maybe Pearl Jam had come out. Red Hot Chili Peppers, probably Blood Sugar Sex Magic was
yep.
maybe a little earlier, but around the same time. But you've got all these guys and gals that are, I mean, when you're in your 20s, you're discovering life and you're discovering who you are, and you think you know a lot. And then, if you're writing songs, you're reflecting those things, but sometimes you put big ideas out there, that maybe you don't feel that way later or whatever, but it's such a cool time because you're just discovering the world and everything that's out there, and you're not risk adverse, and so so you're willing to put yourself out there a little more, I think.
Yeah. And I love the the first verse, last sentence. What takes meaning is cleaning the meaning of who you are.
Wow. Yeah.
And that was another one where I was just like, oh, here's a great line um, that I need to go back and research a little bit more. But I love how it's put together and orchestrated there. Like as with Billy's wordsmithing with the lyrics, that's awesome. And then we get a couple spots later, and the percussion elevates in this. And again, they move back and forth all over the place, but it really starts picking up a little bit later. And then there's that big build kind of at the end.
Yeah. Well, also, I think I'm not sure what the solo is, but it's definitely not a guitar. I think it might be a flute. Like, who says like, "Hey, you know what this song needs is a flute solo," or whatever it's definitely some kind of a wind instrument in there.
Right.
But it's like it,
Yeah.
and you
I mean,
got the
only
walking.
men at work with Down Under, but yeah, outside of that,
Yeah, you got the walking bass line going, and I mean, you compare this to like the songs earlier in the album. You're like, okay, I mean, it's the same band because it's the same feel, but wow, this is really different. And, oh, this is cool. Like, this is I'm gonna put this on and chill a little bit, and have a drink with my friends or maybe a smoke and listen to this song, and we're really gonna vibe on this one.
yeah. No, it is. And that is the fun part of this album. And I think we talked a little bit before the show, and it was, I struggle a little bit with this album in terms of breaking up tracks and saying, "Oh, well, this is Bury Me. Oh, this is Snail. This is," and I guarantee there are huge Smashing Pumpkin fans that are just like, "You're an idiot. These are easy
Oh
to
yeah.
break up."
Oh yeah, they're ripping us apart right now as they're
Yeah. And so be it. Like I'm definitely not the end all on anything music, but I just enjoy talking about it. And for anyone who is listening to it, I do love this album. Uh, but that's I think that's a very positive for me because it's not like a singles factory.
Right.
It's an album and it meshes together, and we're getting that full narrative from track 1 through track 10 with its hidden track in there as well.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, honestly, in today's digital age of streaming, or with Spotify and with everything else, I mean, you really a lot of times only get one or two tracks, and you're like, okay, cool, and you don't listen to the whole album. You just never do. But this is of an era where you put it on and you let it play through, and I just, you don't really catch that anymore so much with today's music. I don't think.
Old guys enjoying music. Here we
I know.
go.
Well, yeah. Hashtag old.
Well, and everyone, I will take that moment as I throw that out there. By the time this episode goes up, it will be belated, but happy 50th birthday,
Thank
Ein.
you. Yeah, I'm spending the last day of my 40s, and we're talking about Smashing Pumpkins. Pretty cool.
Yeah, no, this is a good way. This is my gift.
Love it. Love it.
All right. The next gift from the Smashing Pumpkins is track 7. This is Snail.